Good morning. How is everyone this beautiful, beautiful day? Are you feeling good? Are you really feeling good? Are you ready to celebrate love, light, life, peace, power, beauty, wisdom, joy, all the attributes of God that we are? Beautiful. Welcome to Unity of Tucson. I'm Dr. Jonathan Zenz, and we are here to celebrate. And so we're going to start off with this beautiful song that we've brought to our world. And I'm going to let Aaron lead it off.
Gonna wash the dust off my soul. Gonna listen to some rock and roll. No cares, come what may, I'm making it a beautiful day.
I'm gonna drive my car to the sea, swim out far, 'cause I believe that the waves will wash the gray away. I'm making it a beautiful day. Let me hear you say, oh, oh, my, my. I'm learning to fly. Hey, hey, what's that you're saying? Let's not forget we're alive.
Gonna climb that hill behind my house, see what this place is all about. 'Cause from above it all you can't help but say, it's gonna be a beautiful day.
It's gonna be a beautiful day. Let me hear you say, oh, oh, my, my. I'm learning to fly. Hey, hey, what's that you're saying? Let's not forget we're alive. Hey, why don't you turn around and say hello to somebody that you know, and then say hello to somebody that you don't know. I know all of you. I'm gonna turn my enemies into friends. What's broken gets stronger when it mends. When we all come together, this song will play. We'll sing, it's a beautiful day. And it's gonna be a beautiful day. Oh, oh, my, my. I'm learning to fly. Hey, hey, what's that you're saying? Let's not forget we're alive. It's gonna be a beautiful day. It's gonna be a beautiful day. It's gonna be a beautiful day. You know what? Let's make it a beautiful day. Yes, indeed. Let's make it a beautiful day. I love that song. I love pretty much all the songs we do here. Once again, good morning and welcome to Unity of Tucson. As I said before, I'm Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I am the senior minister, the spiritual director of this beautiful spiritual center that we have decided to spend our Sunday morning at. And what a delight it is to share this time with you. Now, one of the things I like to lead off every single Sunday by saying is this. I like to say this, that you may not believe everything you hear today, right? You've heard me say that before. Yes? Why not? Why is it that you might not believe everything you hear today? Question. Question what? Everything. Actually, do question everything. It's one of the things that was really attractive to me about the New Thought movement was that it was an invitation to question beliefs and to not just, believe blindly. And so the the philosophy of New Thought is here as an exploration for us all. So if something does butt up against your belief system today, just be willing to look at it and say, you know what? I think that's something I'm going to look at today. And see what works for you, because as the master teacher Jesus said, it is done unto you as you believe. And so our beliefs are creating the construct of our experience. Our beliefs are creating the experience itself and our relationship to that experience. So check it out today. What do you say? Today is actually all about questioning beliefs. And when you hear my talk today, what I planned on saying, which is only a plan in my mind right now, because you never know what's going to come out of my mouth, it'll make a lot of sense, this idea of questioning everything. Now, we do also have a vision and a mission at Unity of Tucson, and I would love for us to share as a community these words of our vision statement. Here they are. Let's say this. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. The vision is how we choose to see the world. The mission are steps we can take to get there. Let's state these words of our mission statement together. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. Love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. I just want you to take a moment, because we say these things, it kind of gets rote after you do it enough, right? Week after week, we say these things. I just want you to check in for yourself. How do you feel? And this is rhetorical. Just check in. How do you feel about that? Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. It's not always easy, Dawn says. Yeah. Just something to work on, right? That's the thing. This stuff is workful. I don't know what that is. I'm making up words now. It is. This stuff is work, but we can make it playful work, because I got called out on that a few weeks ago. We get to find joy in the work that we do here from a spiritual perspective. And if you are willing to go on that journey with me, then we're going to have fun today. What do you say? Awesome. If you're joining us for the first time today, let me first acknowledge anyone who may be joining us for the first time on our live stream, or if you're watching the video archive later in the week. It is a delight to have you join us in this virtual way, and we'd love to continue this connection. If you would go to unitytucson.com/connect, fill out the information there, we can keep the conversation going, and I'm so, like I said, so grateful to share this time with you. Now, if you're here joining us in the room for the first time, if somebody recognized you as someone who is new to our community, they may have said, hey, we have a gift for you. And that is absolutely true. A gift was available and is available if you did not receive it at our front welcome table in the foyer. So if you didn't receive your gift, please feel free to pick one up. But if you're comfortable with identifying yourself by either raising your hand or standing up, there's another gift that we'd like to share with you. So is there anyone who would like to identify themselves as being with us for the first time today? Welcome. Grateful to have you here. Welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Grateful to have you here. And here is the gift that we would like to offer to you. Shall we let them know? All right, 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. Yes, you are. You're welcome to sit down, and I'm so grateful that you are sharing your time here, shining your light and sharing your magnificence with us. Thank you for being here. Now, we know that about you because what we teach here, one of the tenets that we teach here is that every single person that we encounter is a reflection of that which is inherent in each and every one of us. And so what I choose to know is that I see in you, your magnificence is a reflection of my magnificence, and we can be in an infinite circulation of magnificence. Yes, so let us all state together these words collectively. Here we go. I am magnificent. That was good today. I love it when it's like, yes, I'm going to affirm this, and I'm going to affirm it with gusto. Let's affirm it with gusto once again. I am magnificent. And so it is. You absolutely are magnificent. We also adopt ritual and ceremony here at Unity of Tucson. And one of the rituals that we've adopted here is called lighting the flames of faith. And in this ritual, what we are understanding, what we're choosing to understand is that there is a one power, one presence. There is one infinite source that we call God. And what we teach here is that God is at the core of all faith traditions, and that there is love at the core of every tradition, every spiritual idea. And we celebrate all traditions here with this ceremony. So here, our keepers of the flames today to guide us through lighting the flames of faith, please welcome Elizabeth Quinn Worrell and Laura Cass.
Well, we have so much going on musically today. Look at all the singers we have. Chelsea and Liz and I were just trying to figure out how to be your backup dancers. We haven't got... I think we need a little more practice, though, to surprise you. All right. Good morning. Good morning. So, we light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for these shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to divine love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them, and for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony. This final candle is the healing candle. It represents the revealing of the divinity at the core of all experience. This is your candle for whatever is in your mind and heart that requires the light. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Elizabeth. This is our peace candle, which we keep consistently illuminated with the understanding that it represents a consistent illumination of peace in our own hearts. And let's honor that understanding that that consistent illumination of peace in our own hearts can inform our thoughts, our deeds, our actions, and our intentions to create a more peaceful world. Let's read together this prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established and peace reigns in the world. Indeed it does. Peace is one of the glorious attributes of this divine creative energy, and many different philosophers and leaders in New Thought offered different ideas about what those attributes are. I would say that any attribute that is constructive is a true attribute of the divine. I think about Thomas Troward, who listed the attributes as love, light, life, peace, power, beauty, wisdom. We can add to that any of the 12 powers: understanding, imagination, wisdom. I already said that. Zeal. Yes, zeal. Yes. I think I know what your favorite is. But as we get in touch with any of the attributes of the divine as attributes that are inherently part of ourselves, we are creating better qualities of life. And so, here to guide us, and that was like not the setup probably that you really wanted, but here to guide us in a way that we can encourage the greater quality of life with our reading, guiding us in our monthly affirmation, and leading us in prayer today. Please welcome Reverend Felicia Searcy.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good morning. I love that this month we are in the month of wholeness. And when you look up the word wholeness online, whatever online dictionary it is, it actually lists the word unity. And this morning, I'm going to be reading from Myrtle Fillmore's Healing Letters. And just a real quick background with this. It's Myrtle was born sickly. She developed tuberculosis, and she was not expected to live long. And when her and Charles married, they became interested in this new thought that was beginning to happen. And she went to hear a lecture in Chicago by E.B. Weeks, where he said, "You are a divine child of God, therefore you do not inherit illness." There's something so profound that moved in her when she heard that she began to work with it. And as she began to work with it and really bring it into the DNA of her being, Myrtle healed. Now, here's the interesting thing about it, and please forgive me for this, Jonathan, but people have often, Myrtle is often labeled as the co-founder of Unity. She's not. She's the founder. Because Charles sat in the background and watched, kind of the way it is, how women, ladies, we got to bring our men along. But Charles kind of sat in the background and watched it and realized, wow, there's really something to this, and began to work with it as well. And people saw what was happening for Myrtle to such a degree that they started coming to her and asking for prayer. And she so actualized that people would actually be healed in her presence. That then spread and began the Unity movement, and then people began to write in. Now, Charles was the studier, was the philosopher, was the lecturer. Myrtle was the doer. She was the woman of the couple. And so when people would... I may not get asked up here again, but so people would write in, and Myrtle answered prayer with letters, and it began her writing ministry, which then led into Silent Unity with what we have today. So I wanted to bring her words as we're in this month of wholeness or unity. So let's just take a moment and really allow these words to become our words. So she tells us, God is the one perfect life flowing through us. God is the one pure substance out of which our organism is formed. God is the power that gives us motive power, the strength that holds us upright and allows us to exercise our members, the wisdom that gives us intelligence in every cell of our organism, every thought of our minds. God is the only reality of us. All else is but a shadow that is cast by some foolish belief or unwise combination of thoughts and the elements of being. When we let light flood us with its sunshine, all clouds vanish, and we begin to see ourselves in new ways of doing, which lead to wholeness and health and satisfaction and growth. God in the midst of us is a steady stream of renewing and cleansing and vitalizing life, and we can have use of this life if we will open up the channels of its flowing and ourselves draw from this source. So with that, let's come into our affirmation that Jonathan so beautifully wrote for us this month. I'll read it twice, and then we will affirm it together. My inherent nature is infinite wholeness, no matter what. My inherent nature is infinite wholeness, no matter what. Let's repeat that together. My inherent nature is infinite wholeness, no matter what. And one more time, really take it in and feel yourselves dancing in the presence of the truth of this statement.
My inherent nature is infinite wholeness, no matter what.
Take this opportunity to relax right where we are and find that centered space in our hearts as we prepare ourselves to be guided through prayer and song.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore.
So let's just take this moment as we allow ourselves to drop into the reality of pure being that is in and through and all around and as us. And as we come into this amazing community, we remember the reality of who we are, whole, full, blessed, abundant, bearing witness to the reality of pure being expressing through this individualized expression of you, this magnificent iteration of spirit. And as we come home into this reality, we become whole, and our world reflects this accordingly. And for this, we give deep thanks. And in the name and of the power of the Christ presence within, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. Now and evermore.
Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Aaron. I feel like I'm just riding the wave of love and peace today. I'm always delighted when this individual who's sharing her talents with us today joins us on a Sunday. And when there was a question about what song to sing, and there's one was suggested, I was like, yes! I love this song. You will recognize this song. It's a song that I have very unsuccessfully sung in the past because it's very challenging. It's a very tricky song. So I'm grateful that I'm not singing it today, but here to sing a beautiful song, please welcome our guest today, Chelsea Hicks.
I won't be upset if you sing along. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to climb. There are oceans and rivers enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. Oh, listen, Lord, if you want to know what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but oh, for everyone. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now, sweet love. Oh, no, not just for some, but oh, for everyone. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Chelsea Hicks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, I'm going to tell you the problem I have with that song. The world doesn't need more love. The world is love. What the world needs is for us to show up as the inherent truth of who we are more, and to demonstrate that more, to show up as love. That's what the world, and I think that's essentially what Hal David, it's Hal David who wrote the lyrics for that, right? They both wrote the lyrics, Burt Bacharach and Hal David. Yes. So let's just have a conversation up here, about the music, but I think that's essentially what he's getting at. And there's a construct in the song that it seems like, oh, well, we're trying to derive love from the world. Well, the only way that we can experience love in this world is to be love, to show up as love. And what happens when we show up as love is it is reflected right back to us. We're not deriving love from anything outside the self. So yes, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. That is a call to each and every one of us to show up consistently as love. That's the call. And now my talk. No, it actually all ties in. It all ties in. In 1989, I was in high school, and I took a class in high school. It was a class that had the most amazing title that was so relevant and so telling of what it was. It was a class called Social Issues. I'm like, what does that mean? Social issues class. And we talked about social issues. We talked about a lot of stuff. And one of the things that happened in that class is it was my first real introduction into transcendentalism and the transcendentalist movement. We talked about the transcendentalist movement in that class quite a bit. And I'm thinking to myself now, I'm like, that was high school. I had no idea what it was that I left that class, I'm like, I know nothing more about the transcendentalist movement than I did when I started here because it didn't make sense to me. And I don't think my brain was quite ready to take in all that information. You ready for some information on transcendentalism? Yeah. Because New Thought has its core in the transcendentalist movement. The transcendentalist movement was a philosophical movement in the northeastern United States in the late 1820s into the 1830s. A court, and you'll recognize some of the authors of the transcendentalist movement, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, there was a Bronson, and Louisa May Alcott was actually a transcendentalist, and so there are people that you know, and in fact, Ralph Waldo Emerson is the most quoted English language writer in history, one of the transcendentalists, and we use the work of Emerson quite a bit in the work we do here and in the study that we do here. A core tenet in transcendentalism is this: the purity of the individual. The purity of the individual. And one of the things that transcendentalism taught was that society and institutions have corrupted true individuality. Society and institutions have corrupted true individuality. What we're teaching here is individualization, individuality, the expression of your inherent nature, individualized as you. You are unique. Every week we say it. You are magnificent. And you are not magnificent because of anything you do or the structures you uphold or the ways that you show up. Actually, that is why you're magnificent, just because you show up. Period. End of sentence. You don't need anything more to be magnificent. Just show up as your authentic self. Another aspect of transcendentalism that was taught and supported is the idea that divine experience is inherent in the everyday experience. Sound like a philosophy that we know? The divine experience is inherent in the everyday experience. So what that is basically saying is this: heaven is not a place we're trying to get to. Heaven is a state of mind, and we get to decide to live it right here and right now. What choice are you making? Heaven is a state of mind. You know what else is a state of mind? HE double hockey sticks. What choice are you making today? What choice are you making today? When I was in this class in high school, there was one quote of Emerson's that stuck out to me. And this is how the quote was presented to me. The quote was this: "Consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds." Consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. Well, that gave me, as a teenager, it gave me a lot of leeway to be inconsistent. Because I didn't want it to appear as though I had a little mind, so I found all the ways that I could be contrary and inconsistent, just like every teenager. Sorry, guys, to the teenagers in the back of the room. Well, that was my experience as a teenager, certainly not for the newer generations. Yeah, my father's in the back of the room. Was I inconsistent and contrary? He's nodding yes. That was a misquote, though. I found out later. Because the actual quote is this: a foolish consistency. That's an adjective that's very important. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, adored by little statesmen and philosophers and divines. The construct of a foolish consistency that I've taken into my own heart and how I teach this now is to say that a foolish consistency is related to the unattended habitual thinking that we carry with us. We carry this with us all the time. The great news is that the New Thought philosophy is an invitation for us to bring to the level of awareness those habitual ideas that are showing up as the construct of our lives about which we may not be aware. So, foolish consistency is the unattended habitual thinking, those things that we're not attending to, although the construct of them is showing up all over in our experience, in our lives. When I was in ministerial studies, we had to do these things, and if you're going to go into ministerial studies with me someday, you will have to do this, so just giving you all fair warning, those who may be on that path. We had to do these things called stand and delivers. And this terrified me so much that when I became a minister, I actually incorporated the stand and deliver construct into my services for a while. The stand and deliver was basically this. Here is a random quote. You need to now speak for 5 minutes on that quote. Right? When I first started doing this, that was tough. I was presented with this quote. At the root of all habit is one thing, the desire to express life. At the root of all habit is one thing, the desire to express life. And I stood there for 5 minutes not saying a word because I was stumped with that. In ministerial studies. I know exactly how to talk about it now. We are creatures, we are expressions that revel in habit. In fact, habit is not a bad thing. A foolish habit is a bad thing, or what you might call a bad thing. At the root of all habit, whether you call it good or whether you call it bad, is one thing. It is the desire to express life. It is the motivating factor within each and every one of us that says, yes, there's something more to know, there's something more to be, there's something more to express, more and more and more. And even those habits which can be destructive, at the root of that is an idea that it is there to express life. Now, how do I work that out in my mind? It's a misunderstanding. It is a foolish consistency of mind to think that anything outside the self has any bearing or factor on our well-being. There's only one thing that has any bearing or factor on our well-being, and that is us. The inherent truth of our being, our understanding of ourselves, our individualization, our uniqueness, our magnificence. So New Thought has its roots fundamentally in transcendentalism, in the constructs. I want to note something about part of that tenet. I'm going to go back and read that again. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. And this is the part that I want to take note of. Adored by little statesmen and philosophers and divines. The idea of that adoration of a foolish consistency by what Emerson offers as the least among us, the little people, the little statesmen and philosophers and divines, are those people who don't have a willingness to do what you're doing in this room, which is go on the journey of uncovering and the journey of becoming. So you're already a step ahead. You're already a step ahead. Now, the philosophical roots also incorporate this idea. Society and institutions have corrupted true individuality. Remember when I said that before? Society and institutions have corrupted true individuality, and so I am faced with a paradox in my life. because we have created an institution. We have created an institution. The challenge is that we've created this institution seemingly dedicated to promoting true individuality with the construct that society and institutions have corrupted true individuality. You see how that can be problematic? It's a paradox. How do we maintain the institution of Unity of Tucson, or whatever we are, with that idea in mind? That true individuality, you don't need to come here on a Sunday to live this philosophy or practice this philosophy or understand the truth of your being. You don't need to be here. I'm glad that you show up because it helps me have employment. It is, it's honest. Yeah, I'm like, come on. I mean, I love what I do, and I love being able to teach, and I love being able to present these ideas to people because, when people walk through these doors for the first time, one of the things I always like to say is, you're here on purpose whether you think you are or not, because something drew you to be in this experience. And it may be below the level of awareness. It was something that said, yes, this is for me to know. By creating an institution, we run the risk of letting the institution become more important than the truth. And I've seen this happen repeatedly. I see it happen in lots of institutions. So what does it mean to belong? Many of you have decided to belong as official members of Unity of Tucson. You've decided to affirm your belonging. What does it mean to belong? Do we or are we asked to give up a part of ourselves, a part of our inherent magnificence, to fit in? I would like to think that here, we're not asking you to give up any part of yourself in order to fit in. But every institution, every construct that we create as a collective is an invitation to not only know something more deeply for each and every one of us, to know how we relate to the organization, but it is also a call to the organization itself to support the best constructs possible for all its participants. And it's hard to do that. It's really hard to do that. In the Unity movement, there's an aspect of the organization that I have some challenge with, and that is they're really gung-ho for us to try and create a brand. There's a constant message of, oh, you should adopt the branding guidelines and use our logo and use the constructs in this way and that way and, start to adhere and conform and make yourselves fit in. And then I go to them and I say, I don't know if you know who I am in ministry, but that's not going to work for me. You know why brands work? The reason brands work is because, well, I'll speak specifically to the McDonald's brand. Not that anybody here eats McDonald's, except for those of you that do. The McDonald's brand works because no matter where you are in the entire world, the golden arches, when you see those golden arches, you know that a Big Mac is going to taste like a Big Mac. When you've been to one Unity church, you've been to one Unity church. That's why branding doesn't work. For us, it doesn't work for us. It doesn't work for a spiritual philosophy that revels in individualization and the celebration of uniqueness. It can't ever work, I don't think. It can't ever work. The other thing is, I mentioned membership. We invite you to be a membership. And we do have a membership structure in this organization, right? But that membership is your decision. Membership here is not compulsory, and we actually, if you really look through the membership form that you sign, we don't actually require anything of you to be a member other than this is a decision that you've made in your life to be a member here now, at this time in your life, because it works for you at this point. And we see people come and go in our membership all the time. Just as a side note, the next membership orientation will be on September 23rd at 2 p.m. Because why not? Nice segue, Don says.
Actually, I just had someone ask me this morning when it was going to be.
Laura said that she just had someone ask this morning when it was going to be. Well, there you are. Now you know. September 23rd at 2 p.m. We'll probably actually start making the official announcement next week. My desire as a spiritual leader is to inspire you to come to know yourself more profoundly than ever before. Which is why at the beginning of every single service, I know y'all probably get tired of hearing me say it, but every single service I say, you may not believe everything you hear today. But it's important to have that reminder, to let ourselves off the hook of saying, oh, well, I hear what he's saying, well, I don't believe that, and then leave and never come back. The invitation for us is to go on the journey of uncovering what it is we do believe. And in the uncovering of what it is we do believe, I think we find the truth of our being, our uniqueness, our individualization, the way we show up as God. I think the most individualized experience we can have is to question. This is a philosophy about questioning everything. We have tenets, we have doctrine, but I invite every single person to consistently question the doctrine, which is why we can then make the claim we don't have dogma, because dogma is doctrine that cannot be questioned. I ask you to question all of it. And I stand up here every single week also, oftentimes with a very strong statement that turns some people off. What is that statement? Does anyone know what that statement is? I am God, and so are you. I am God. I'm not saying I am the allness. And I'm not saying it in a way that is meant to imply I have dominion over you. I'm saying I know who I am, and I understand that about you, and that we collectively make up the infinite body that is God. Because that's what God is. It is the energy of creation of which we are all a part. We cannot be separate from the infinite. And so when we say, remember who you are, that's what we're talking about. I am God, and so are you. The issue with this extreme individualization is that we still have to get along with each other in community. Oh my gosh. And community itself is a form of institution, right? We gather in community because of things that we agree on, typically. That's usually what draws communities together. It's what draws this community together. I think we probably have some similar ideas that draw us together and say, yes, we can agree on that. And we will find the things about which we do not agree. That's true. But we live in community. Community is a form of institution. So I will hold to this idea. The transcendentalists were sort of right. They were sort of right, but we still need to find our inner way while we are immersed in outside structures. We can be in community, but still find our inner way. There's a construct that I learned about in a particular way, again, when I was studying ministry, this construct called emergent evolution. And the idea of emergent evolution is very simple. It simply offers that change comes from necessity. Change comes from necessity. And that change is brought about by our involving ourselves to allow that evolution to flow forth. And so there is a cause and effect idea here. Involving ourselves, involution is the cause, evolution is the effect. Everything that shows up in the world of form, what we teach here is everything that shows up in the world of form is the construct of an inner idea. Charles Fillmore wrote this, that which is involved in mind evolves through matter. That which is involved in mind evolves through matter. And so I'm putting a call out to every single one of us to question even more. To question, how do we show up? Let us constantly consider how we show up. And there's a challenge in this. A colleague of mine wrote this. This is a lengthy quote, but I want to share it with you all because I think it's important that we begin to turn and look within to see ourselves in the mirror. He wrote this: "If we are only a philosophy applied to the individual and have nothing to say to the society in which we live, then we have to come to terms with what that really means. We are a teaching of privilege, made for those who have the luxury to contemplate its prose and the comfort to pay for its classes and the free and unencumbered mental state of mind to consider its philosophical depth, applying to oneself only that which is appealing and comfortable." I think it's time we turn the mirror to ourselves and say, I know who I am. Now, how do I serve? How do I serve? How do I use what is a position of privilege to lift others up, to be the love about which we speak? How do I do that more profoundly now than ever before? First, let us question the structures we are upholding that no longer work. Ask, are we willing to actively participate in our own evolution? How might we show up as a fully realized individualization in the context of community? How do we make this institution a place of exploration, a place of discovery, and not fall into the trap of making the form supreme? Do we promote spiritual truth? I would like to think we do. We promote spiritual truth. What is truth? Well, for me, truth is that which is unchangeable. Absolutely unchangeable. It is absolute. Spiritual truth. So we promote spiritual truth. But are we doing that at the expense of our individualization and deferring to the frame of institutions? These are the questions I ask myself. I came across this other quotation that speaks to this. This is a quotation, although usually when I have a quotation, especially if I have a quotation I see on the internet, I always try to source it. I've not been able to source this, but I've seen enough references to this quotation from various different sources that I think it actually is attributable to this person. So this is a quote of Ernest Holmes. "What we must avoid is the confusion which arises from a belief in final revelations, from the belief that all truth is at last discovered, or that some one person or some one system of thought has delivered the last word. There are no finalities in any science, any philosophy, or any religion. Through the continual emergence of the creative principle, any last finality proves to be but the beginning of a new creative series." That's an important sentence. Any last finality proves to be but the beginning of a new creative series. This eternal spiral finding its base in the everlasting capital R, reality will never cease to emerge. That's what we're doing here. We're inviting the active participation in our own evolution. Change comes from necessity. I think many of us found our way to this place because we felt there was something necessary in us to change. And by changing our mind, by changing our belief, we are changing the construct of our lives. So let us involve ourselves, our individualized use of this infinite power and presence we call God, to evolve the forms that we have structured. Peace and blessings. You are magnificent. This week's homework, and I give homework every week as a way to invite participation and practicality in this spiritual tradition. The homework I'm inviting us all to engage in this week is this. I would like us all to review the various forms we've adopted as part of our experience and ask this question: do those forms support our individuality or not? Celebrate the individualization of everyone in each of these structures. That's an important aspect of this. As you ask the question, celebrate those who are part of those structures as well. That's the homework. It'll be in the Monday email, as it always is. If you don't get the email, you can sign up for the email. But I'm going to invite us all to relax right where we are, to see if there's any kernel of truth that has resonated in our hearts, and let that be present in mind. Just invite the contemplation of that which has resonated in our heart and soul.
Embrace the stillness.
Embrace the stillness.
Embrace the breath.
Embrace the breath.
Embrace the spirit.
Embrace the spirit
of love. Embrace the stillness.
Embrace the stillness.
Embrace the light.
Embrace the light.
Embrace the power.
Embrace the power
of love.
Right here, I invite the embrace. I invite a relaxed mind focused on this idea, what I choose to understand as a fundamental spiritual truth, that there is only one infinite power and presence. There is only one magnificent source of all creation. There is an energy flowing forth and letting itself express based on the impression of itself upon itself. This is the nature of God. And knowing that this is the nature of God and there can be nothing separate from God, I trust and know that fundamentally this is the nature of each and every one of us. We are this power. We are the presence. We are the unfoldment of magnificent love. This is our identity. Our core identity is wholeness, and we are sharing in that wholeness collectively. For I know that there is no aspect of our individualization that is curtailed by anything in the world of form except to the degree that we allow it. And so there is no common unity that we experience. I hold true that there is no common unity that we experience that is contrary to our magnificent selves flowing forth in expression. And I know that each and every one of us is surrounded by, immersed in, expressing through and as this magnificence. And as we show up in the world as this, we are right where we are, creating a greater quality of life for ourselves and for all whom we encounter. And so it is with gratitude overflowing from within that I relax into this understanding and allow the unfoldment of this understanding in the world of my experience, and trust and know that we all do the same. I let it be so as I release, let go, trust and know, and I affirm it by saying, and so it is. Amen.
Embrace the stillness.
Embrace the stillness.
Embrace the Spirit.
Embrace the Spirit
of love. Embrace the stillness.
Embrace the stillness.
Embrace the breath.
Embrace the breath.
Embrace the Spirit.
Embrace the Spirit
of love.
Thank you. You don't want to break that, do you? You ready? Will you please welcome to the platform to guide us in our sharing, magnificent member of our community, Emila DeToro. Hi, Emila. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. So, in the spiritual practice that I came up through, which is the Vedic or Hindu practice, wholeness comes from two places. One is the masculine, the pure consciousness, the Purusha is called. And the second is Prakriti, which is what creates form. And that is the feminine. And Felicia pointed to this earlier, right? You need both for wholeness. The pure consciousness, the holding of truth, the holding of belief, and the action to put your feet into movement to create it. So as you are considering your ways of supporting this congregation, this community, where we are individuals and we are in community together, I ask you to explore this combination of masculine and feminine right within yourself and how that expresses in your giving, whether it's your tithe, your talent, your treasure, your time, or your service, knowledge, and devotion, which are the three tenets of Hindu and Vedic philosophy. So question everything, including your pattern of giving. And so as you consider how you're going to give today, we have lots of ways you can do that. There's a QR code magically behind me, and you can take a picture of that and set up an automatic giving. You can put your extra giving in the baskets as they go around today. You can text that number. And we hope that you are generous, because we are a generous community. And I, anyway, love being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Emila. Feel free to move your bodies and dance if you like as the baskets go around today.
I circulate my love right now. I circulate my love.
I circulate my love right now. I circulate my love.
I circulate my love right now. I circulate my love.
I circulate my love right now. I circulate my love.
And it returns to me, multiplied abundantly. Circulation across the nation. It's a love vibration around the world and beyond. I circulate my joy right now. I circulate my joy.
I circulate my joy right now. I circulate my joy.
I circulate my joy right now. I circulate my joy.
I circulate my joy right now. I circulate my joy.
It returns to me, multiplied abundantly. Circulation across the nation. It's a love vibration around the world and beyond. gifts right now. I circulate my gifts.
I circulate my gifts right now. I circulate my gifts.
I circulate my gifts.
I circulate my gifts.
And it returns to me, multiplied abundantly. Oh, 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 oh.
Yeah. Woo! Here to guide us in the blessing of the offering is Reverend William Gill.
Good morning. Ushers, if you would please face the congregation. And congregants, we're going to bless our gifts and tithes and love offerings. And to bless means to impart positive energy. So charge up and face the offering, and let us together say our blessing affirmation. We bless these gifts, and we see these gifts going out and blessing our community and the world. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend William. Let us find out what's happening here at Unity of Tucson. Roll it.
It's Sunday, August 20th, 2023, and here's what's happening at Unity of Tucson. Classes being offered at Unity of Tucson this fall are now open for registration. Join Dr. Jonathan on Tuesdays for Unity Prayer beginning September 5th. Licensed Unity teacher Susan Smith is offering The Eye of the Storm on Thursdays beginning October 5th. Reverend William Gill will be facilitating the study of the history of Unity and New Thought on Saturday afternoons beginning October 21st. And Reverend Sue Oliver will set us up for success during the holidays with Experience Greater Joy This Season, a holiday how-to, on Saturday mornings beginning October 14th. By providing a framework for individuals to deeply explore their inner selves, our classes offer guidance to experiencing a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Explore the class schedule and register at unitytucson.com/classes or in the Desert Light Book and Gift Store. Are you ready to lean into full expression? Immerse yourself in 2 hours of bliss at our next Community Life event. Gather on September 16th beginning at 3 p.m. with other adults age 16 and up to forge meaningful connections. The event begins with activities designed to deepen, followed by an hour of sound healing with divinely inspired sound healer Anya Sarah. Enjoy the full session for only $35. Advanced registration is encouraged. Be part of something extraordinary. Reserve your spot now in the Desert Light Book and Gift Store or online at unitytucson.com. Gary Lynn Floyd, one of the preeminent singer-songwriters in the New Thought movement, will be with us in concert here at Unity of Tucson on Sunday, September 24th at 1 p.m. We expect a sellout show, so be sure to secure your seat now in the Desert Light Book and Gift Store or at our website, unitytucson.com. Can't be with us in person? There's an optional ticket that will allow you to live stream the concert in the comfort of your home. We have received some extraordinary donations to offer in our silent auction being held as part of our Gratitude Gala on November 10th at 49ers Country Club, and we are looking for lots more. Reach out to businesses you frequent, your nail salon, favorite restaurants, movie theaters, hairdressers, and ask them to donate a gift or service to support Unity of Tucson. Deborah Benson will be available in the lobby following the celebration today with guidance and solicitation letters you can give to potential supporters. She will also be welcoming support from anyone who would be willing to volunteer to staff the silent auction in half-hour shifts during the gala. Training for volunteers will occur in late October. Celebrate gratitude with your spiritual family. Join us at the Gratitude Gala on November 10th for a joy-filled evening of dining, entertainment, and lots of fun. Get your tickets today in the Desert Light Book and Gift Store. The Unity World Day of Prayer is coming up beginning at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, September 13th, and continuing for 24 hours. Submit your prayer intentions for the World Day of Prayer and plan to join us for events throughout the day. Find out more on the calendar of events at unitytucson.com. And our website is the source for more on what's happening here at Unity of Tucson. Check it out at unitytucson.com and make your week magnificent.
I also want to let you know that next Sunday is the final Sunday of the month, and that is when we traditionally have our Sunday potluck. So you are welcome to bring a dish to share and show up, or bring just yourself to share. We all get to share and have a good time and enjoy this thing called community. So do join us for potluck next Sunday following the celebration in Harmony Hall. I also want to let you know that we are taking up collections right now for Sister Jose Women's Center and Old Pueblo Community Services. We're looking for things like hats, sunscreens, reusable water bottles, sunglasses, lightweight long sleeve shirts, things that will help support those who are in need or are currently without housing. So there is a basket in the foyer. If you would like to start bringing in those types of items, we would be delighted to collect them here, and we are developing systems to ensure that they get to the right places, and I'm so excited about that. And I want to say thank you to Elaine Rockhill for inspiring this community into this action. Thank you so much, Elaine. Today's prayer chaplains in service are Laura Cass and Sherry Hoffman. They will be available after the celebration today if you would like a moment of prayer, what I like to call our 1-minute miracles. They will be available here in the sanctuary. You can also submit your prayer intentions in our prayer intention box in the lobby. The prayer sheets for the World Day of Prayer, which were on your seats, you can fill those out. You can also put those into the prayer intention box. They all get prayed over and prayed on by our magnificent team of prayer chaplains, and I'm so grateful for their service. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see we have some little people here that probably have something to tell us about what they did today. Please welcome Jessica Bronk. She is the manager of our youth and family ministries here. Hi, Jessica.
Hello, everyone. This morning went by so fast. We were having so much fun, and suddenly I was like, oh gosh, we need to have snack. It's time to go inside. Friendship is our topic this month. Just a second, Loki. We actually didn't really have time today to talk about it too much because we were just practicing friendship. So we lost someone. We have a couple of stuffy friends with us today, as you can see. But we have Logan, Amelia, and Annabelle with us this Sunday, and they opened a restaurant. It's official, you guys. There's a sign and everything. Mm-hmm. And we have a menu, so if you want to come see, you're welcome to. We also just had a cookie, if you couldn't tell. We just had a really great time, and they all worked together. So I think Logan wants to tell you something.
You just said everything I was going to say.
Oh, I did?
Oh. You stole her thunder.
Grumpy bunny, since you see it has a grumpy face. Mm-hmm. It's funny, right?
Yeah.
So we were remarking that Grumpy Bunny has what looks like a grumpy face, yet it makes all of the adults and other kids laugh and smile. So that's pretty awesome. Yes, Miss Susan is out there. Hi, Miss Susan. There you are. I also want to take a moment to recognize Judy over there. If you want to wave, Judy. Yay! She's our newest volunteer, and she was with us this Sunday, and we really appreciate her. And I just want to give a shout out to, we haven't seen our friend Amelia in a while. It was lovely to have her. And Annabelle, this was her first Sunday with us, and she was such a great helper with us and the little ones. So thank you to everyone all around. It was a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And on that note of gratitude, I want to say thank you to everybody who made today's celebration magnificent. Let's, of course, leading meditation today was our prayer chaplain, Laura Cass. Thank you for that glorious meditation this morning. Also for guiding us with Elizabeth in lighting the flames of faith. Guiding us in the reading and affirmation and the prayer today, Reverend Felicia Searcy. Also Emila and Reverend William Gill for guiding us in our sharing time today. Of course, our hospitality team, our greeters, our ushers, everyone who makes this place function so magnificently. Let's also give it up for our technical team in the back, Don and Jim, Rowan and Kyle. Thank you so much for your service. This glorious music team. And look who's joining today, Reverend William. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's hear it for our magnificent guest musician today, Chelsea Hicks. Thank you for sharing your magnificent talent. And thank you all for being here, for shining your light and letting your magnificence be known in this thing called life. As we complete our time here today, let us share together this prayer of divine awareness. I am infinite light. I am infinite love. I am infinite power. I am infinite presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And so it is. Amen. Now we're going to celebrate.
Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate now. Celebrate good times, come on. There's a party going on right here, a celebration to last throughout the year. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're gonna celebrate your party with you. Come on now, celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We're gonna celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! Yahoo! It's a celebration. Yahoo! It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on! Let's celebrate now. Celebrate good times, come on. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right. Yahoo! Yahoo! Let's celebrate now. Celebrate good times, come on. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Come on and celebrate. Celebrate good times, come on. It's all right now.
It is.
Celebrate good times, come on. Make it a magnificent week, everyone. Namaste.